Hello there. What is going on, everybody? BTL-B Y-Wing preview is up today for your Republic needs. The best looking version of the Y-Wing with all of its clothes still on. So, yes, if you are a fan of the Clone Wars, this is the preview for you because you're going to get a look at that nice new Republic Y-Wing that people have been craving for a long time. And also, before I jump too far into this, I do want to remind you guys that we do have a big new giveaway going on right now for the $100 Amazon gift card. If you want to enter to win that, all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. The winner for that should be announced just after the very first week of September, so make sure you stay tuned. So the BTL-B Y-Wing has got not the best dial out there, but it's going to be hard to clear stress with this little guy because he's only got that 1 and 2 straight that are going to be blue and a whole lot of red, not a whole lot of flexibility, very much like a regular Y-Wing. So that's kind of how this guy's going to fly. But if you have flown Y-Wings in the past, I don't think you'll have too much of a problem getting used to this particular guy's way of flying. Now we're gonna look at our red Squadron Bomber here too. By the way, I love how a lot of this art, like they're showing these guys doing a bombing run on Geonosis. This is just kind of showing the game that I really wish we would have had at some point, is that X-Wing ground game where your fighters can still act as bombers, kind of attacking ground targets as well, and that would have allowed for really big stuff. I haven't done a push for an X-Wing ground game in a long time, but I really would love to have that someday. That would give us ATTEs, AT-ATs, it'd give us the Mega Cannon Walkers for the sequel trilogy stuff. There's just so much big ground stuff that they could do. But with Legion and stuff, I feel like that's not going to happen anytime soon. Maybe in like 5 years they'll end up getting around to it. But I digress. Let's take a look at Red Squadron Bomber here. Your basic Y-Wing is going to come with, it's going to be able to do a focus, it's going to be able to do a target lock, a red barrel roll, and of course our repositioning of our little turret arc. And we've got 2 primary, 1 agility, 5 hull, and 3 shields. And we have plated hull. So it says, while you defend, if you are not critically damaged, change 1 crit to a hit result. Which means it's going to be a little bit harder to get crits in on them, which is great. How many crits is your opponent really going to roll anyway? And, of course, once that first crit does come through, basically it blows the plating on the hull off. And now all of a sudden it's more susceptible to crits. But that's actually a pretty good built-in ability. It's not like crazy overpowered, but I like it in its thematic. So a good thematic ship. We also have our Shadow Squadron veteran at Initiative 3. Here we're on Camino, which is cool, which would also make a really cool ground battle kind of thing. I love that so many of these images are in atmosphere. That just another ship I always wanted that was almost always seen in atmosphere was the Cloud Car. And, from Bespin, I thought it would have been an awesome ship for the Rebels to get, or maybe Scum. But, people's like, oh, it's in atmosphere. We can't do atmosphere stuff. I'm like, look, we're doing so much in-atmosphere flying. It's great. I love the in-atmosphere pictures. Speaking of in-atmosphere pictures, here we are flying over Coruscant. And I love this one. This one looks really good. I spend a lot of time looking at the art, but I think I'm justified in this. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think the art for these are just phenomenal or what? Anyway, Goji has got the special ability at Initiative 2 here. While a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 defends, it may roll 1 additional defense die for each friendly bomb or mine at range 0 to 1 of it. So if you're, this is going to be really good if you're putting those fuse tokens on your bombs. So this way you can keep those. But keep in mind it's friendly bombs. So if your opponent's bombing you, you're not going to get those. So make sure you mark your bombs. Make sure you do something to indicate which bombs are yours. Granted, I get that the new bomb tokens, this is more applicable if you're using 1.0 bomb tokens. But with the new bomb tokens, they have the white on one side and the black on the other, so you can flip them. But I like to put some a magic marker around the edges of mine. I like to make my stuff green around the edges when I can. If you're gonna do something like that, that's one way to really make it stand out. Plus, people will accidentally grab your stuff off the table at the end. It's always possible. Broadside, finally one in space, right? While you perform... Oh, and that's a Lucre Hulk in the back, too, it looks like. Oh, might not be. Might just be one of those destroyers. But while you... Initiative 3 for Broadside. While you perform a turret attack, if your turret indicator is in your left or right, you may change one blank result to an eye result. Now, this one's pretty good. It's a moderately strong ability, and I like that because as long as you focus, you're gonna have, you're probably gonna have a great shot. And I think that's great. The thing is, you've got to be circular strafing, right? You've got to have your turret pointed left or right, which honestly is a pretty common place for a Y-Wing turret to be. A lot of times you're going to be circling around the battlefield with your turret pointed in, and it helps you take advantage of having a lesser dial because your primary gun is pointed forward anyway, so you'll at least have a shot there. So I like this ability a lot. He's only initiative 3, so he's not going to have all of the tricks and, guaranteed to be able to keep, somebody in that side arc. But if you're flying on the left side of the board with your turret pointed right, you're going to have, between your front and your side, you're probably going to have a shot. So I like that. We have R2-D2. R2-D2 flying a ship. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. He's taking control. And R2-D2's got all kinds of special stuff, too. So, first off, at the start of the engagement phase, if there is an enemy ship in your rear arc, gain a Calculate token. So you're going to gain a free Calculate if somebody's behind you, which shouldn't be that hard because, again, you're not the most maneuverable ship, and you're also... you're low initiative, and this is start of engagement, so it's real easy for somebody to be able to outmaneuver you. So this is basically saying, come on, get behind me. I dare you. So that's cool. And if you have a turret, you just keep it pointed left or right, and then you're going to kind of have every arc mostly covered. Right? Most arcs covered. So that's something. Now, he doesn't have focus. R2 has the Calculate token, and R2 is going to have a different setup. So most of these guys have a gunner slot, but it looks like in R2's case, instead of a gunner, although it maybe doesn't say that he won't have a gunner, but it says instead of a gunner, he's going to have a crew for C-3PO. So that is really cool. Now, they say specifically that R2 can take C-3PO, but if it's just a crew, like it doesn't say, R2 doesn't say that he can only take C-3PO. So I wonder if it'll be a list builder thing where he can only take certain crew, or if they'll allow you to technically put any crew that you want in there. But we get our C-3PO Republic here, who's also going to let us take all kinds of Calculate tokens, because while you defend, if you're calculating, you get to re-roll an additional defense die. So it's going to be a really good combo. So if somebody is behind you, you're going to have an extra die, and you're going to have probably 3 Calculate tokens, which is really cool, because if you calculate it, you'll get an extra one here, and then you'll have an extra one for having somebody behind you. Very fun. Lots of Calculates. Matchstick, because that way you're going to also probably have some left over for attack. Matchstick. While you perform a primary or turret attack, so either one, you may re-roll 1 attack die for each red token you have. So if you have to do one of those K turns or whatever, that's going to be good. And I think it'll be really easy to make sure you re-roll 1 die. It'll be a little bit harder to have multiple re-rolls each time, but a lot of times, I mean, especially for a ship that may only be rolling 2 dice, 1 re-roll is probably fine. Although honestly, if you're doing a stressful maneuver, you're probably not going to have a focus or anything to manipulate those dice. So the more you can have, probably the better. But that's a pretty cool ability, and he's initiative 4. Also another in-atmosphere pick. What planet do we think that is? I'm guessing that's also Geonosis. Oh, Felucia, maybe, right? Felucia for Oddball. Very, very nice bombing run here. Initiative 5 for Oddball. After you execute a red maneuver or perform a red action, if there is an enemy ship in your bullseye arc, you may acquire a lock on that ship. So that one is very fun. Good for if you're going to do some torpedo missile stuff, probably torpedoes, but that's fun. And Initiative 5. So, or perform a red action. It's pretty easy to do that. Anakin Skywalker. We get Anakin. I mean, this one is probably the best artwork so far. And I believe that's the Malevolence in the background. This is also exciting because I love to see artwork of the Malevolence and that ion cannon that it has. I absolutely love that. Great episode. And also gives me hope for Armada when they do that, because I really want to see the Malevolence show up as a huge ship in Armada. That would be really exciting. But Anakin has the after you fully execute a maneuver, if there is an enemy ship in your forward arc at range 0 to 1, or in your bullseye arc, you may spend a force to remove a stress token. So not like the, more like the old Anakin Skywalker that were in the Delta 7 Aether Sprite, or rather in the Aether Sprite, rather than the kid Anakin doing the barrel rolls. It does still have 3 force, which is good, and he's still initiative 6. So there's still a lot you can do with him. And speaking of things you can do with him, they give us a look at some more of the new upgrades. So you could potentially give him Precognitive Reflexes, which is really going to be very similar to Supernatural in a lot of ways. So this one will probably be expensive. After you reveal your dial, you may spend 1 force to perform a barrel roll or boost action. Then, if you performed an action you do not have on your action bar, gain a strain token. If you do, you cannot perform another action during your activation. So, they're really trying to do, like, this one's obviously going to have some type of, sliding point cost, is my guess. But this a good candidate for Anakin. Additionally, you've got Foresight, which is this one I'm a little perturbed about. Or, like, I'm not sure how I feel about this one. It's basically Snapshot for the Force. After an enemy ship executes a maneuver, you may spend a force to perform this attack against it as a bonus attack. You may change an eyeball to a hit result, but otherwise your dice cannot be modified. So it's 2 dice. You're going to be able to change 1. So you're going to be able to, like, it's a little better than Snapshot, but you have to spend a force to do the attack. And of course, it's using up your force slot. And then, so it's a nice way for those pilots, those Jedi that maybe didn't have access to the talent slot to be able to have something like this. But this is generally better on a lower initiative, and a lot of your Jedi that have the force to spend are a little bit higher initiative. So I don't know. This is going to be kind of an interesting one. I kind of like stuff like this better on a lower initiative pilot, because if I really expect you to do like a 1 speed, a 1 straight or something like that, I can make sure I move before you. Like, hence, like, this might be something I might run on a generic Jedi Knight, and put them into a position and get you kind of set up for that. Whereas if you're going on a higher initiative, you have to be more apt to really predict where they're going, and that can be a little bit trickier to do. We got Chopper in the Republic. He is Republic only, and he is a flip card. So he's going to say he's got 2 charge, and you're going to equip him face up. This is his face up sign. After you execute a maneuver, you can spend a charge to perform a red evade action, even while stressed, which is very nice, and that'll actually be pretty good on a Y-Wing, maybe, especially if you're going to. And this is the thing, is like, I don't think you'll be able to put Chopper on with R2-D2, because I'm guessing R2-D2's is not going to have the astromech slot, since R2-D2's in the astromech seat, so it's probably going to basically mean that C-3PO crew is in the pilot seat. That's kind of my guess on how that will actually work out. But yeah, during the end phase, if you've used all of your charge, if you don't have any active charge, you're going to flip this card. And then the flipped version of this is, after you execute a maneuver, you must choose a ship at range 0 to 1 and have it gain a jam token. Now, the thing is, this one can hurt you, because if you've got no enemy ships nearby, you can either you or a friendly ship or another friendly ship, because it says you choose a ship at range 0 to 1. You are range 0 of yourself, so and you are friendly to yourself, so you might end up jamming yourself. So Chopper kind of goes haywire, which is like this. I bet you this will be a cheap card because it can hurt you. So that's my guess. We get Ahsoka, which is really exciting, and nice little artwork where there's not I'm glad that we get to see her, as opposed to just have the picture of like the gunner tube. I like that, like we can kind of see her in this, almost like she's waving. She's gonna add an extra force, which is always really cool. And she's Republic only, of course, because this is still Kid Ahsoka. And she's got, after you execute a maneuver, you may spend a force and choose a friendly ship at range 1 to 3 in your firing arc. If you do, it may perform a red focus action even while stressed, which is really cool. And actually, that's going to combo pretty well with your pilots that might want to get their extra rerolls even while stressed. So now you can get extra red tokens, all that good stuff. So there's a lot of synergy in with some of this. So maybe running 2 Republic Y-Wings will be a pretty cool idea. I could definitely see that happening. Looks really, really fun. I'm liking it. Let me know what you guys think down in the description below. And these guys are also coming out September 13th. So we've got 2 weeks until these guys basically come out. Thereabouts, about 2 weeks until these are live. I will have some unboxings, so make sure if you're not already, subscribing to enter to win the contest, subscribe so you can see when the unboxings come out, and we'll have them brand new, popping them out of the box for you as soon as possible. All right, guys, I want to talk to you guys later. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.